Hi everyone, I'm here today to do a kind of different video than I usually do because I won't be talking about any book in this video, but I'm gonna be talking about authors. In particular, I want to talk about authors that I really want to read, but I still haven't. And to nail this down to at least a manageable amount of authors, I had to create a couple of rules. The first one was that they had to be authors that I hadn't read any of their books yet. And the second rule was that they couldn't be authors that I was interested in one or two specific books that they have written, but more in their general production, if that makes sense. Anyway, you're gonna have to bear with me because I have a horrible memory. So I have written down the authors and I have them here. So the first one I wanted to mention is Ali Smith. Ali Smith is everywhere in the internet and in booktube, and I have such a curiosity to see what all the fuss is about. And yeah, I am very interested in all her works, her short story collections, her novels, and her latest seasonal quartet, Autumn, Winter, Spring and Summer, which deal with current political events happening right now, like Brexit and stuff. Another author that I want to read because it's everywhere in booktube is Sarah Moss. And Sarah Moss, I have kind of like an interesting dark story with her, not with her, but with her books, because when the Tidal Song came out a couple of years ago, I was sold. I really wanted to buy it, and I did. I buy it from the book depository, and I was sitting there in my home waiting anxiously for the mail to arrive to see if my book was there, and it never came because there was an issue with the address, and I never got a refund or another copy sent, and yeah, that was sad. But I still really want to give another try at buying one of Sarah Moss's books, because some of the topics or the themes she deals with, which are like family dynamics and teenage girls growing up, I feel like I'm gonna love them. I'm very interested in them. So yeah. The third one is the poet Anne Carson. I'm really intrigued by Anne Carson, and I would love to pick up any of her poetry collections. And I'm gonna use her, very cheeky of me because I'm breaking my own rules, to mention Sappho, because this is only a book that I'm interested in, so it wouldn't fit the rules that I impose upon myself. But since it's Anne Carson, and it counts, it's the If Not Winter, that is the Anne Carson's translation of Sappho's poetry, and that's the translation I want to read of Sappho. So yeah, there you go. The next one is Italo Calvino, which is an interesting one, because the reason that I haven't read him yet is mostly because I cannot decide what translation to read. He writes originally in Italian, and for me it will make sense to pick up the Spanish translation, because in my brain, I don't know if this makes sense at all, but in my brain, Spanish is closer to Italian than English is. So the translation would probably be more faithful or better. Makes no sense, I know. But the thing is, I read faster in Spanish and I'm more comfortable, and sometimes I process better in Spanish while I read than in English because it's my native language, and that makes sense to me. But the issue is, I heard of Italo Calvino only because of English readers. I have never heard Spanish people talk about him. And I find that weird, and it's probably, I'm sure there's a lot of Spanish people who read him and adore him and talk about him all the time. I just haven't met them, and I haven't read their reviews or anything. So, in my brain is, if only English people talk about Italo Calvino, maybe the English translations have something special about them. And I'm just living in this limbo because I cannot choose one translation to buy. The next author I want to mention is Jeanette Winterson, which is yet another author that I want to read because it's everywhere in booktube. And probably at this time I should mention, and you may have noticed already, that most of the names in this list are people who write in English, and they're usually contemporary writers. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that Spanish bookshops and libraries, at least in my area, have very limited English sections. The bookstores have the books overpriced by quite a bit, and the libraries usually only have classics and just a few of them. So getting my hands on decently priced contemporary English language authors is quite hard. And since I have a book buying going on for the last year and a half and such, because I have a lot of books that I haven't read yet in my house and I don't want to spend more money, so yeah, I just don't have a chance to get my hands on them because they are not in the libraries and I'm not willing to pay the prices that the bookshops have here, and I'm trying to buy less and less from the internet. Next one is a Portuguese author, and that is José Saramago. And I don't know the reason that I haven't picked him yet. It's probably because I'm a little bit intimidated. He seems a very important TM author, and he seems to have very philosophical books, and that I really want to take my time on, and I don't feel like I'm ready to read him yet. But I'm very interested in his books. This one might sound a little bit weird, and that is Charles Darwin. At university, by the way, I studied biology. Evolution was one of my favorite subjects, and it's something that I found very fascinating. And Charles Darwin is, of course, one of the main figures in historical evolutional theory, whatever. But apart from that, I also have heard that the Voyage of the Beagle, his recount of the trip he took around the globe in the Beagle, that was the name of the ship, is amazing, and it reads like an adventure story, and it's very interesting. And the main reason I haven't picked Charles Darwin yet is because I want to wait till I can buy like one of the nice editions of his works. Like I want it to be like a book that is gonna like be amazingly beautiful and a super good quality edition. So I don't want to buy like a cheap nice paperback or a very cheap classic edition. I want to wait till I can buy like a collector's edition of his works. Yeah. So we are nearing the end, and there's only another 3 authors that I want to mention. The next one is Angela Carter, and she's one of these figures, kind of like Anne Carson, that is hanging there, and I'm very interested to see what she's all about, and I feel that I should read her as soon as possible. And in fact, she's the only person in this list that I bought a book, because the other day I was being very bad at Book Depository looking at books, and her short story collection Black Venus was 60% off, so I bought it, and it was like €4, and I was very naughty, but I did. So I will be reading her soon, so maybe she shouldn't be in this list, but she is, because I want to see what all that fairy tale retelling craziness is all about. Second to last is Vladimir Nabokov, and I've always wanted to read Lolita specifically, but this year I read Reading Lolita in Tehran, and Azar Nafasi raved so much about Nabokov's other works that now I want to read anything Nabokov. So yeah, I'm blaming Nafasi for her enthusiasm to make me want to read everything Nabokov, not just Lolita, which is the most famous one, I guess. And the last one is actually an author that writes in Spanish, and that is the Argentinian Cesar Aira. And he's an author I've seen recommended in several places, from fashion magazines that I used to read a lot in the past, to Patti Smith. So I'm very hyped for him. And mainly I haven't bought any of his books because they are short novels and they're usually quite expensive. And I feel a little bit bad I was spending so much money in a short little thing that I'm gonna be bored in a couple hours. But I'm gonna keep looking for him in my local library, see if I grab a hold of one of his books. Anyway, those were my top 10 authors that I want to read. I don't know how interesting this video was to you, but it certainly was to me to make it, because I had to focus on my priorities to authors that I really want to get to. And it took a lot of work, like delving into my Goodreads TBR and prioritizing some authors over others because of my interest in them and such. So I feel like I learned something. I just hope this video wasn't boring for you or anything. If so, just tell me in the comments and I will never do anything like this ever again. Even so, I still hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day and I hope to see you soon. Bye!